Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roadmap to Freedom. We're at the second session of the first chapter of our project. During our previous talk, we, I assume, concluded that A, the golden rule is a very good way to measure goodness of the society, and B, you not particularly like when others rob you, imprison you, or kill you. But that means that neither monarchies, nor socialist countries, nor states ruled by religious leaders, nor feudal societies are good for us, the people. There is fascism. This is, of course, a variation of socialism. The fascists in Germany were called Nazi, which means national socialists. And fascism differs from the Soviet-style socialism by a small distinction. Many people think that fascists are right-wing. Nothing could be further from the truth. Fascists wanted to take from the rich and give to the poor and disadvantaged. Like all our other socialists, international, national, domestic, democratic, radical, soft, they, instead of creating good life by producing, they want to rob those who produced and distribute stolen goods among the thieves. The Soviet interpretation of equality and justice looked more or less like that. Your car is taken from you to a public garage, you're forced to come and service it, you're told where to drive, what to deliver, what speed to maintain, and what music to listen to the radio during the drive. This is Marx Soviet style, or Marx II, as we call it, but I will explain it later. Fascism, you call it Marx German style, we call it Marx I, is the car remains in your own garage. However, you told where to drive, what speed to maintain, and what music to listen to. The big plus of fascism is that sometimes you can drive your own car for your own pleasure. Although there is a mic in the car for you to remember that you are under constant care of the big and powerful brother. An Italian dude by the name Mussolini called Marx I the third way to differentiate from Marx II and capitalism. Even Franklin Delano Roosevelt wanted to implement it in the United States of America, but thanks God, didn't succeed. Does this third way resemble the golden rule? Not exactly. Do not do to others? No. So what type of society follows the golden rule? Maybe it's impossible to reach. Monarchy is completely opposite to the golden rule. Religious theocracy is opposite. Feudalism is opposite. Both Soviet style and fascist style socialisms are completely opposite to the golden rule. In other words, for more than 5 millennia of our recorded history, we have lived in societies opposite of the way we would want to live. But maybe it's totally impossible to achieve such life, such society. However, we have not yet explored a very new system called free market system, or sometimes laissez-faire capitalism. Capitalism, to remind you, is when some people are able to put aside money and use this saved capital to build manufacturing or service businesses, produce and sell what they want and to whom they want. Here's a story about French Minister of Finance, Jean-Baptiste Colbert, and King of France, Louis XIV, the Sun King. I don't guarantee historical accuracy. After a long war, France was devastated, and the king turned to his Minister of Finance, whom many called genius, asking how to improve the situation. Colbert said, "Laissez-faire, Your Majesty. meaning do not interfere, and they, population, will build the country anew. He meant allowing people to produce what they want, sell to whom they want at market prices, and pay a certain percentage to the king's treasury. The king agreed, and within 2 years, France once again became the dominant economic and agricultural power in Europe. Thus, Colbert and Louis XIV made France great again. It seems that the only system close to the golden rule is laissez-faire capitalism. I will show you how the golden rule is not only right but also rational and practical. In our upcoming conversations, I will share with you knowledge about how to build this society in which we all dream of living. As I mentioned before, most of the ideas I share with you are not mine. First and foremost, those are ideas and thoughts of two great people, Andrew Joseph Galambas, and he was a Hungarian Jew who immigrated to the United States in the early 40s. Galambas was an astrophysicist and philosopher who presented his revolutionary ideas of freedom through the Free Enterprise Institute from 1961 to 1989 here in Los Angeles. He was the first philosopher to construct theories about interaction between people as an exact science. He formulated postulates, then measured everything against those observable patterns of human behavior. For example, man always moves towards what he perceived as good for himself and away from what he perceives bad for himself. Or to rephrase, man always moves toward the direction of happiness. Doesn't this coincide with the brilliant lines from the Declaration of Independence about the right of everyone to pursue their own happiness? In general, much coincides between the science created by Galambas and the pamphlet Common Sense by Thomas Paine, who is called the father of the Declaration of Independence. Galambas was undoubtedly one of the greatest geniuses of humanity, as was Paine, but more on that later. The second person whose ideas were using was the chief lecturer of the same institute, J. Snelson, who perfected the V50 lectures and explained to us, non-philosophers, the essence of the Galambas theory. The ideas are not mine, with few exceptions, but the perspective from which I view this almost perfect society is mine. Why almost perfect? Because it is impossible to create a society where everyone will be equal. This probably can be achieved only in heaven. Among us who dwell on earth, some will be better off and some worse off. And this inequality is a manifestation of freedom in general and freedom of choice in particular. At our next meeting, we will begin practical lessons on building such a society. But you will also find practical lessons to improve your own quality of life, your own social circle, and your own relationship with the world around you. The sessions on the science of freedom will bring you dividends in every sense of the word. But before we take a break, one more assignment, please. Write in the comments what you think you personally lack and would like to obtain in order to achieve your most important life goals. What is it? Is it money, connections, luck, character, brains, or something else? Until next time.